जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
The Chennai Express has been halted. Rajasthan Royals have pulled the chain. A completely clinical performance by them. They won by 32 runs. Welcome back to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher. I have Pommie Mbangwa with me and Vaughan. Really good performance, great all-round performance by Rajasthan.
Yeah, I mean, much needed on the back of two defeats, but they were just professional. Jaiswal deserves a lot of the credit because he really got them on their way with the bat in hand. He won that power play, which after losing 2 games, you just need to get the momentum going your way, and they did that. I thought they were smart in the field. I think you look at Sandeep Sharma, 0 for 24 from 4. He didn't get the wickets, but on a pitch where the seamers have been travelling to only go at 6s. And I thought the power play from Chennai was a strange one because they didn't lose any, but to only get 42. And then you think the 32 light, and all right, they lost a wicket off the last ball, but they're 6 wickets down. I just wonder whether they should have gone a bit harder in those first. And even if they lose 2 or 3 wickets, but they get to 60 odd, they're up with the rate. You don't see many teams chasing over 200, which is over 10 and over, and yet you only hit 7 out the power play. So I think Chennai look at that power play. I know they tried, and it was one of those nights, but I think the power play really cost them in the chase.
But Pommie, we spoke about this. Do you think it almost looked like they were playing on another pitch because it just wasn't coming onto the bat in the first initial power play period at least?
Yeah, and it's fair enough to say that, but you can only say that and not take action about it when you're trying to set a score because you don't know what's enough. You don't know if you're going to be going out too hard. In an instance where you need 10s right from the outset, you have to do something about it. And as Michael says, you'd rather go the aggressive option where you end up 3 down in the power play, but you're up with the rate, rather than kind of throttle back and say, okay, we'll hang up and try and catch up later. It's too much work for all those who come in at the end. And there's a certain amount of work that must be done in the power play because all those fielders are up and it's the best chance to get wickets. I mean, to get the boundary. Right. So as you think about it as well, it's the best time because the ball is at its hardest then. And if you do make errors in terms of execution, you're bound to get away with a little bit more then than later on in the middle of the game when the ball's got that little bit softer and there's insurance in terms of fielders in the deep. It's not normal that they wouldn't actually take action because they're good at playing the situation. They're good at trying to kind of do what is necessary at the time. And you look at Conway and you say, that's out of character because what is it, 4 out of 4 in half centuries, 4 in a row. That's what he's done, and he's played in a certain way, and he just failed to do it today.
Well, it was an all-round performance by Rajasthan because the batsmen did their job and then the bowlers came in and did what was required of them. Zampa was someone who was very impressive. We can see, you spoke about Sandeep Sharma, those 10 dot balls, can really hurt an opponent. And there was Ashwin who got those 2 wickets. He had one expensive over, but then he always managed to pull it back. But Zampa, the pick of the bowlers today.
Yeah, Zampa was excellent, coming back into the side. It can only be so frustrating when you're sat in the dugout and you can't get in, and then suddenly you get that opportunity. And in the IPL, if you get an opportunity and you've been waiting in the wings, you have to make it count. Because these owners, these captains, coaches, they don't spend too much time talking about loyalty. They just want the best 11 out there. So when you get an opportunity, make sure that you grab it. And he's made their lives a little bit more difficult because when Trent Boult is fit, what they're going to do with that set? Does Jason Holder miss out? It all depends on the surface. But I think if you look at Rajasthan Royals, all their operation is working quite nicely. I still think Butler can go even better. He's not quite firing. I think Sanju can play better. I think Shemran can get back to the form he was at the start. But those young players and then the spinners, and now, I thought Kuldeep Yadav, 3 overs, 1 for 18, coming in, fantastic performance. They just got it right. They've had a couple of iffy performances where we've kind of said they didn't look quite right. Well, tonight Rajasthan from the get-go looked on it. They looked right there. And I think the IPL, I mean, Pommie's been here for years and years, and I have. to play 14 games, maximum switch on, concentrate is hard. So you're bound to have a few games where you're not quite on it. So you have to give some teams a little bit of leeway. But Rajasthan tonight were right at it. Chennai weren't quite at it where they had been for the previous few games.
You know, you spoke about Zampa and how he takes up the opportunity when it comes to him. He's spoken about this, and he said that, you know, his mentality to look at a T20 game is it doesn't matter who the opposition is, it doesn't matter who's batting, doesn't matter what his numbers are. He thinks he can get the best job done at any given point when the ball's thrown at him. And well, he's shown that to us today.
Yeah, and I think that's the exact attitude to have, because what happens over the course of a game is, you know, you see it and you see it at the end. But as a bowler, as he is, you could bowl a first over that goes for 20 and the game is going in a certain direction. But you then come to bowl a second over, and if your second over goes, say, for 3, for 5, for 8, depending on, you know, what the equations are, and you take a wicket or two, you might swing the game totally in the favor of your team. So every single over you bowl, and you could strip it back to every ball you bowl sometimes, becomes a whole event. And case in point would be, and it's good that it's these two teams playing, Sandeep Sharma in that over, where he's trying to defend 19 and it gets down to 7 from 3. So each ball you've got to kind of erase and still understand that you're ahead of the game, you're still winning the game, and there's still a thing you can do in order that you win the game. And it ends up, he wins it, right? He's just got to make sure he doesn't go for the 7 and make sure, and away you go. You win the game. So I think it's the exact attitude from Zampa. And so understanding that you just kind of forget what's gone before and see what you can do to make things go better from that ball you're bowling then or that over you're bowling then.
You know, we are so used to seeing Chennai, even when you know that, okay, this is really uphill. We had this discussion down with GK, and he said that, yeah, this is still doable because you know there is a Jadeja coming in, there was a Vaughan batting. So you know that the batting lineup has got its depth. There was Dubey playing there. But unfortunately for Chennai, they haven't been able to convert both their games against Rajasthan.
Yeah, I also think that, I mean, like we spoke about, you have that many resources, it says there's no excuse for not going the aggressive option. When you have the backup like that, then you've got to make sure you're using the resources. And by that, I don't mean everybody get out and let everybody bat. I mean, whoever is batting has got to be going full throttle like a Shivam Dubey, so that if you're in, you're using all deliveries coming towards you. And if you get out, it's okay. Next person is going to come and do just about the same thing. It's controlled. It's a skill. You got to get it right on the day. And this power hitting that these guys do, it's fabulous to watch. And they can, with regularity, hit the ball out the ground. And when they do, they generally win games. That's why they're unafraid to chase 15s and 16s at the back end. That's why we'll sit and we'll say, well, hold on, they're still in this, because there was a time you'd say, oh, 15, forget about it. They'll never get there. They'll be short by a whole long way. And I think even in this tournament, the bowlers have upskilled a little bit because they were fetching, and maybe it was that Sandeep over that changed it around. But they have now, as we've gone along, bowlers are better and better at the back end. They're holding their nerve that bit more, and they're accepting that, look, sometimes you're going to fetch and balls are going to disappear out the ground, but I can make a difference with ball number 3 and number 5 and number 6 or whatever it is, and still end up, winning the game rather than going to pieces and then every ball you're bowling is disappearing out the ground.
You know, Michael, Dubey was making every ball disappear. He's become a 6-hitting machine. He hit those 4 6s, 2 4s. He couldn't get them past the finish line, but he's someone who's looked very impressive. You spoke about that bat swing, which looks like Yuvraj.
Yeah, Yuvraj Dubey, I'm going to call him. He's got exactly the same bat swing. And those shots actually that he squirted past backward point.
Yes.
So much like Yuvraj, just the way that he played. Yeah, great striker of a ball. And that's why I think they'll be frustrated that they didn't go harder at the top. And I know we keep talking about that, but to end up 32 runs short and MSD's not even got out there, that tells you everything. That, I know he's coming towards the latter stage of his career, but you still want to see MSD out there when you're chasing 200. When he's just been sat in the dugout talking to Ben Stokes and Moeen Ali by the looks of it, he started to go to have a strike. Just for the crowd as well, they wanted to see him bat. They know they've not quite got the chase right, but Dubé is in India have got so much talent. They've got so many players. We've seen Jurel, we've seen Jaiswal, we've seen Gaikwad. We've got so many young players. Rinku, who's playing for KK. An amazing amount of talent in this country that can strike a cricket ball. That's why I get so frustrated watching India in white ball cricket.
You know, you spoke about Dhoni. It's almost everyone's feeling that, okay, let him come out, because this felt like a complete perfect setup where for one last time, maybe Dhoni comes and finishes it off and you see him hitting those big shots. We've only seen him play like 2 and 3 deliveries. It's just not fair on fans. It's not fair.
It's not fair. He's a wicket-keeper captain. Just accept it. He's a wicket-keeper.
I love it. Don't you love it? It's just not fair. You want to see
Well, you know, the World Cup that we won, I was in the stands and it felt like Dhoni hit that 6 to me. So we are so used to seeing that.
You and a billion others.
Yes.
Yeah, fair
No,
enough.
but I was in the stands where it came. It just didn't come into
That
my
was the
hand.
last time India had a decent white ball team.
Ouch, you're getting into some controversial areas
I'm
here.
just saying. I'm just being honest.
I think the statement, I'll interpret it. When you have a decent white ball team, they win the tournament. And that's what they did, didn't they?
The politician in Pommie spoken.
Yes. Well, they might do it in a few months' time if they play the Jaiswal way. So when you get in those middle overs, what I really enjoyed watching him today, and we were talking about it in the green room, he was still looking for boundaries. He was still, because they're so powerful, they're so strong, they're fit. You know, and these bats now, they just swing through it, it just flies into the stand. So, yeah, I really enjoy watching players in the middle of the innings, realising that it's not an era for 1s and 2s.
Dominate.
That's the last thought, a 1 and a 2. The first thought is, right, where's the boundaries?
Particularly after a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and look, we're talking about where you need to be, try and stay with the rate and all that. What was it, they lost by 32? And let's do the math, and you sort of go 42 and 6. How far behind are you? You know, if you play shots 42 without loss in 6, and make a comparison. I think, what were they, 66, were they? Something like that. So if you're that bit closer, everything gets closer as you go along. It means somebody else has played shots, someone's going along. It means there's a bowler who's under a bit more pressure. If it goes right to the end, you don't have 32 that you've got to play with. Suddenly, you know, it's kind of getting stuck in the hand because you can't get it wrong. And the whole game is that bit closer. So, yeah, can't afford to not go, because then you just never know.
Well, let's have a look at the points table, because Rajasthan are happy with these 2 points. They go to the top of the table. So it's reversed, because Chennai was 1, Rajasthan was 3. It's reversed. Rajasthan's at 1, Chennai is at 3. We can also see the run rates really done them well, because a 32-run win is something which is very crucial at this point in this stage in the league.
Yeah, you know, they need to get a win after having lost 2 on the trot, but they now come to Mumbai and play the Mumbai Indians on Sunday night on a pitch that I would think the Rajasthan Royals batting lineup
They'd love it.
will half fancy hitting quite a few 6s there. So yeah, it's the perfect. I always look at, you know, teams, and Rajasthan from the start of the tournament, everyone's spoken about how strong they look, but you still got to produce it. And I always look at teams when they've lost a couple, how are you going to react? So it was a big game for Rajasthan tonight, and they reacted in a real positive sense. They looked a quality outfit tonight.
You know, we'll just have a look at where Rajasthan goes from here. They play Mumbai on the 30th. That's their next. Followed by Gujarat, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Bangalore and Punjab. They've got 3 home games and 3 away games. But like you said, a pitch like Mumbai is almost like home to them. You know, for me, you think they'll be happy coming to Mumbai? It's just the small boundaries, the nice flat wickets at Wankhede?
Yeah, I think everyone's happy turning up there, because they can swipe them for 6. That's what everybody wants to do. Just like people are happy going to Chinnaswamy. You know, all the games I think are done there. It might be one more, I think, over there. But teams are happy to go. It's not great sort of going on the road, because it's grueling and all the rest. But by now, what are we, 15, 16 editions in, players are quite capable of sorting themselves out, making sure they're ready for whatever it is on the road. What you do want, though, when you go on the road, is that you get on a roll. So you don't want to be kind of struggling and trying to cobble things together in terms of your team and who's playing what role and who's doing what. There must be clarity, and you go out there, and even if you don't end up on the right side of it, it's not a case of you don't know what you're doing. It's not a case of you're kind of guessing. A team's trying to do a certain thing and play a certain way, and it just fails on the day, but they're clear on how they're doing it. And a win like that, where everything kind of falls in place, is absolutely perfect.
I think in Rajasthan are so good that you think about the venue on Sunday night, and you can't see Zampa playing.
True.
You know, so
True.
Trent Bolt surely is going
Yes.
to come back in if he's fit, playing against his old team. Jason Holder, Seam, unless they go Zampa for Holder, but again, Jason's so experienced, and I think Seam suits Wankedi more than a bit of spin. So I'd be amazed if Zampa plays
I know,
on the
after-
back of 3 for
yeah.
bowling great. He might not even get a game in the next outing.
And Holder's also a bit of insurance when it comes to 6 hitting and batting at the back
Yeah.
end, because he's an all-rounder who can bat. So you want that, not necessarily because you want him to bat, but you want the likes of Jaiswal and all the rest to be able to freely go at their shots because they have the insurance at the back end. Rather than the insurance of a sub, they have a player within the lineup and bat deep anyway, so they can go, you know? So that sort of thing.
And you always need tall fielders at the Wankedi on the boundary.
Boundary
Jason
line.
Holder is as tall as they
Yeah.
get, and he catches pitches.
We've seen what Tim David did the other day.
Yeah.
He had got like I think 4 catches. He just kept standing, and Pollard's done all these years.
Yeah.
But you know, just quickly, if we can just talk about Sanju Samson, because again, he's on my list of many people that I like, and I think there is that Captain Cool, which Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been all these years, and I think Sanju Samson slowly and steadily has become Captain Calm, because he's looked at Dhoni, learned the ropes. Ravi Shastri said the other day that there is Dhoni, who's of course been who he has, and there's Hardik, who's impressed him a lot as a captain, and Sanju Samson was his third on the list. So Sanju, the captain, has been very impressive all through. Even today, he seems to be giving his bowlers the comfort, giving them the fields that they want. So clearly, Sanju Samson's doing very well for Rajasthan.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, if we talked about everyone that you like, we'd be here till Sunday. And we'd have to spend at least 6 hours on a Jinka, so let's move on. I think calmness is, particularly in this era, when you're managing all these different characters, you have to stay calm. I think the eras of captains kicking the dirt and lobbing the caps on the floor.
Wonder who did that.
That was an era that we played in. I think a captain that is calm. You've got to remember the cameras are on you all the time, but not just the cameras. The most important people that are on you all the time are the players. The players watch every single move. So if they see you dipping your mindset, your mentality, your body language, or you react in a negative way to anything, they'll kind of they go off that.
Yeah.
So you've got to be really, but it's easier said than done, and he just looks like he's cool. He looks like he's enjoying it. He looks like he's got it under control. The best captains, I would say, you don't generally notice them. They just go about their business, and the only reason that you notice them is because the camera's on them. But you don't really see them doing too much. They're just subtly moving things, and they're probably speaking to a couple of other senior pros, just saying, "Get him ready. We'll go with him." They all know the matchups. They know pretty much the combination.
Funnily, Sanju Samson in an interview said that the camera never focuses on me, and he was joking about, "I wish the camera showed me a little more often."
Oh, he wants a bit more coverage, does he?
Yeah.
So, and that's where I was going, actually. I'm going to go with, when you look at the two captains, so we're going to talk about Dhoni and we want to talk about Samson. The one is a colossus of Indian cricket, of world cricket, and essentially is probably trying to play himself down to his team and not be intimidating to all these youngsters who are there, kind of bring them in and make them feel comfortable with him. And the other end, Samson, is trying to be comfortable with a few stars who are in his side and still be the guy in the leadership role. And you've got to be secure in yourself when you're in a situation like that, because you can kind of overplay the part to try and say, I'm the boss here and whatever, when actually you don't really need to. So there needs to be a good balance, and he seems to have struck it, because as Michael's been saying, as you've been saying, giving his bowlers and deferring to them with regard to their fields, allowing them certain things and kind of working out who he lets do what and who he has to do what for as he goes along. And the team seems to be taking over, quite nicely. You also get what is help from those who are around, because Butler captains England, right?
Yeah.
Ashwin could captain the team. You can go round, Holder, captain of West Indies. You go round the team, and there's so much experience, and yet nobody's trying to be up front. Nobody's trying to outdo him. He's not trying to be bigger than all of them. They all seem quite happy and know exactly what they're doing. So that too is good temperament.
And what I like about Rajasthan is actually that Samju is captain, because Jos Buttler's the World Cup winning captain. So he could easily say, I'm the guy that lifted the trophy, the World Trophy just a few months ago. I should be surely the captain of Rajasthan. But I think I actually like, in all the leagues around the world, that local players captain the sides. I really think it's important, because what you're trying to do in your own tournament is actually bring through your own players, and within that you want to bring through leaders and captains, and the only way you're going to get captains coming through is if you actually give them opportunities. So I like what Rajasthan are doing with Sanju Samson.
Well, Captain Calm, as we called him, will be happy because he's sitting pretty, but we should see what Captain Cool is going to do next. We'll see where Chennai...
Double CC.
Yeah, we'll see where Chennai goes from here. They won't be happy with what they've performed today, but Dhoni is that person who says that, okay, it's over, the loss is over, we move on. He moves on very quickly. They play on the 30th as well at home, and they play against Punjab. So they've got 4 home games and 2 away games. So they'll be happy with just going to Chepauk and doing what they do best there.
Yeah, 4 home games. Whoever you are who's going there, all the best. Because
they're going to be fine.
Yeah,
don't worry, they're going to be fine. Don't
you don't have to worry.
Yeah, Mumbai goes there.
You've had a double tear there. I know Ajinka didn't get so many and Chennai have lost, but you're going to be fine, honestly. He'll be back and your team are going to get back.
They'll play at Chepauk, it'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, but Mumbai goes there, Delhi goes there.
Honestly, you're going to be fine. You just need to just relax.
Who are you worried for
These
there?
things happen with teams in sport. You lose the odd game, they'll be bouncing back.
I think Michael's going to get me out of a job because I've been told to be neutral, but clearly I'm just going to be out of a job after the end of the IPL because I can't be neutral. This is
You're far too good at your job to lose your job. You just got to accept that when you support a team and they lose, it happens.
All right, Michael, we are going to keep you happy. Even if you get me out of the job, we're going to keep you happy because the lovely people at Cricbuzz have got the yellow cap stats ready for us, which is very quick and which was, commendable. So this is the Cricbuzz yellow cap leaderboard this season. And
we've got to explain it, don't we? We've got to explain for everyone who's watching. We spoke about it before, but we've got to explain the impact and the fact that these guys don't get many deliveries.
So this is between over 16 to 20.
Yeah, the
so
last
most
5
runs
overs
in the death overs. Yes.
Yeah, last 5 overs. You see that? I mean, look at Rinku at the top there. It's the boundary percentage on the end that I really enjoy. Look at the amount of boundaries that he's hit, the dot percentage. So he's only got 33% of dots, and 80% of the deliveries that he's faced has been a boundary towards the back end of an innings.
That is unbelievable, actually. He came in the other day. Yeah, it was Kolkata. It was yesterday, wasn't it? That's the game I did. I forget, you see, on a plane.
Yesterday,
it was he walked in and just first ball wide of him, outside off, and fetched it for 6. And everyone just said, how's he done that? And then the next ball, full outside there, opened the blade in the gap, sort of just too far enough the man who was sweep. Wonderful hitting. It really is incredible. You know, Tawati is another one who would probably, with enough deliveries, he'd probably be one of those who'd be up there, and he's made it his own job, isn't it? That he walks
also
in.
Jetish for Punjab.
He's
a fantastic.
Nicholas Puran, I'm surprised, hasn't really made it here. He had just that one innings. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it was towards the back end. Was it? It was actually when he smashed it. Yeah, when he did smash it at the back end.
Yeah.
They're the players that add real value to a team. You know, they're the ones that I think when the auctions start around the world, you know, all the directors of cricket, the captains, the owners sit around and they go, all right, what kind of formula do we need to go for? And you know, at the top of the order, you want players that can strike in the power play and then get 100. You know, you want individual players to get 100, but there's only a small few that can do that. There's not many that can go in from ball one and go right, hit it out the ground.
Yeah.
You've been sat in the dugout for an hour and a half, but by the way, wheel them out and go and hit some sixes. There's only a small few players, and that's why you look at the value, and particularly overseas players that come to the IPL that get a lot of money. Liam Livingstone's on a lot of money because he goes out there and strikes it. Tim David's on a lot of money. Cameron Green went for a lot of money because they thought he was going to bat down that middle end, but he's now
But then they got him up to
number
3,
three.
I think. Yeah.
Shemron Hetmar goes for money. Pooran goes for money. They are the players of real value in T20 cricket.
Yeah, that boundary percentage you're talking about, and to kind of put it in perspective, if we say that those guys face on average sort of 10 balls, and if you're hitting 8 of them,
because even the dot percentage, I think that stat was also very interesting.
Yeah.
Where I think a Jurel had just had 15% in dot balls.
Yeah.
So you can't obviously waste any deliveries when you're coming at that point in the batting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you look at that Rinko at the top, his strike rate at 200. I mean, 200, you know, right? He knows he has to get on with it, but to do it and to score 172 runs playing that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Jurel 203, the strike rate.
203.
Fantastic. Well, he played great tonight, didn't he?
Yeah. Michael, I think you've secured a whole lot of number 6, number 7 players their job for the coming IPL because of this idea.
Do you think I get 10%?
What I like is that you've secured a nice segment there, your yellow cap
Yes.
segment.
Well, I think
So
the
I
yellow
like that.
cap might change to a different colour cap.
We'll have to change it. It was very impromptu. We'll change the
Yeah,
colour
I
of the
think
cap.
Changes the colour
We need
depending
to
on
create.
who's hosting.
There must be a colour that's not used in the IPL. There must be a colour out there that doesn't, you know, I don't know.
I don't think the black
green,
cap,
bright green.
Light green, RCB uses on those days.
Yeah.
But maybe a black cap
Black
because
cap?
only KKR used it once, so there's no black.
Black cap's
Black
not a bad
cap.
option.
Black cap.
Like
Like it.
that's New Zealand, isn't it?
Or then white cap. That's like a very
White cap.
white cap
White
is a good
cap.
idea.
the
I
white
like
cap.
that
Yeah.
one. I like that
We've
one.
coined
Nice
it.
and fresh.
Yeah. Yellow cap wasn't bad, I must say. Like yellow jersey, you know?
Well, it had to be yellow today.
Yeah, but we're going to move on and make it into a white cap. I think that's a
Okay.
great idea.
You happy with that? Are you happy?
Yeah,
with
I'm very happy with that.
that? Okay.
Deal.
Done.
Okay.
Sold.
So the auctions happened. It is a white cap. We need to move on to what's happening tomorrow because Punjab take on Lucknow. This is game 38 and it's happening at Mohali. Punjab and Lucknow, the last time they played, Punjab just about inched into victory with Sikandar Raza's 50 and I think Shah Rukh got a 23. So he came in and he could have been a contender for the white cap because he got it in 10 balls.
That's quick. I like it.
Yeah, we have to plug it in now at every point. Both of these teams coming in, Lucknow lost that game to Gujarat. 136 runs to chase. It was a game which, well, you thought was in their pocket, wasn't meant to be. And Punjab, of course, painful game because they scored those 214 runs against Mumbai and then Arshdeep broke those middle stumps in the last over. What a sight it was.
Yeah, great win for Punjab. They played well, played really well and kept the nerve at the end, particularly Arshdeep, who was phenomenal. What was it, four for two broken stumps? So he owes him a couple of stumps, but yeah, he was fantastic. It was a very important win on the back of them just stumbling a little bit, but I still feel they need Shikhar Dhawan back. I think when Shikhar Dhawan's back, I think he just offers that kind of solidarity at the top of the order that he will probably play an old school role of just anchoring that innings for all the firecrackers to come out there and strike it. I still feel Livingstone's not got going. I think he will get going. And I'm looking at Rabada. If Rabada's fit, surely he has to play.
So I think Shikhar should be in tomorrow because he seems to be doing all right. Jitesh and Prabhsimran did well for them in the last game. So hopefully Shikhar and Prabhsimran take Punjab off to a good start.
Shikhar's fit, Shikhar plays. No question about that. He's striking it all right, actually, this season. You wonder, and I'd probably toss this to you, Mick, to say you kind of have to sit out a bit and you were hitting it quite nicely. Is it easy enough to just pick up where you left off? Or is it one of those where you're struggling to find the middle of the bat again? How do you, especially in this format?
I mean, he's that experienced. You'd feel that if he gets a couple out the middle early, he'll be flying. I think in T20 cricket, it's like Devon Conway this evening. It doesn't matter what form you've been in on that given day. If you get a couple of dots, the pressure builds and you start to panic a little bit. I saw Harry Brook play the other night and he's a good player and he was running around the crease and he's back. I'm going, that's not the way you play. Just stand still and hit the ball. So it just shows you in this tournament in particular, the IPL, the pressure builds. And when you get a dot and another dot, I can only imagine what these players are going through. But Sam Curran played nicely in the last game, and that was to go to the Wankhede and win so well under that atmosphere with pretty much everyone expecting you to lose. That was a big performance by Punjab without Shikhar Dhawan.
Yeah, and what they've been looking for is a batting performance. So what they've been trying to do is put together some sort of batting. You spoke about the game where Raza gets some runs. I think he's player of the match that match, and it's kind of he gets out before the end. I think he got 50. I think he got 57 in the end, and played really well. They got in a hole, and it should never have got to that, right? And you just look at the team and you think, oh, what's going on with this team? How come they don't know what their order is? How come they don't know who they want to? And they were waiting a long time to have Liam Livingstone fit and ready to play. And I think the next game is when they drop Raza from player of the match and they bring him in, and he doesn't do anything. But a game later, they get it together and they get a win. And you have to back what your decisions are. It's not ideal. I don't think it's ideal to be leaving players out who have form, because you've got to kind of go with the form. But what makes it difficult is if you have a $2 million player who's sitting on the side, you can't have that, right? So you got to play them, right?
Yeah, I think if Shikhar's fit, he plays. Coming, I would think Rabada will come in for Matthew Short. Short's not really fired, and I thought his opportunity was at the Wankhede to really establish himself in the side, and he didn't get too many runs. So I would think Rabada will replace Short. So obviously Sam Curran plays, Liam Livingstone plays. How many overseas? That's 3, and I guess they could play Short depending on the pitch, but I don't think they will. I think they'll look to manoeuvre him out the side because he's just not fired for them at the top of the order.
I don't know why we have Prabh Simran who's got a plane next to him there, so we've got a little error. But if you have to pick your 4 overseas players for tomorrow, who are they going to be, Pommie?
Curran. Looking through the list, Livingstone will play. Rabada will be the other. I think they might go Short, but the reason I pick 3 is so that you can have the option of subbing one in. And if you can go that route, so because Rabada, Curran, Arshdeep, you're sort of happy with how that's going in terms.
I guess it depends on the pitch. I mean, Nathan Ellis, if it's really dry with his slow balls, they could use him.
They could,
They've got enough there to cause problems for most teams, and they should be confident on the back of that. That win here was a big win for them. It should just give them I know they went to Goa. They went to Goa after the victory. They had a couple of days on the beach.
Oh, nice.
So they've been chilling on the beach. They've been on the yacht.
Nice for
Yeah, they have a nice 5-day break like I did.
Yeah,
do you think we can have a Cricbuzz in Goa?
Cricbuzz, are you all listening? We've got a white cap, maybe Cricbuzz in Goa. Petitions. The list of the petition gets very long here.
Suggestions.
Yeah, let's put them all out. Let's now have a look at Lucknow's team, because they had a lot to, go back to the drawing board and look at. That 136-run loss would have hurt them. And changes for tomorrow, you feel? Because, de Kock has to be given a game. You can't keep Quinton de Kock on the bench for so long.
And not whilst you keep messing games up like that. So for all the talk of, so-and-so's doing well and this and that and the other, it all doesn't matter. If you've got really good players who are sitting outside and you're losing games, that's a problem. Their issue, as far as I'm concerned, is they're not going hard enough after the power play. They're not going hard enough at it. It's about strike rate. They've got the players to be able to do it. They bat deep enough. It should be a case of, handbrakes off, away we go. And in that chase, you think about it. You don't want to just get over the line. You don't want to just get there in the 20th over. You don't. If you run into trouble when you're trying to get there in 14 overs, the rest will kind of sort it out. But they'll sort it out okay because you've gone hard enough in the power play, you've gone hard enough after that, and they have time to try and sort it out. Yeah, I'm sort of thinking about, Marcus Stoinis walking in and having to try and smash one first ball, when if you give him 5 balls, he probably does it, right? So they're putting themselves in trouble too much, and they've got a good enough squad. They should kind of be further up the table.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how they bounce back, because that game against Gujarat, they should have won. They should have won easily, you know. And I
mean, Rahul went ahead and said he couldn't put a finger on what went wrong because it all just happened so quickly.
Yeah, and he played great in the power play.
Yeah.
You know, he'd been criticised for his slow nature in the power play. Well, actually, he came out the traps and played really aggressively, which was the idea. And actually, that's the DNA. You have to do that every single game. But you could see it coming. You could just sense it when they lost a wicket, and then there was a few dots, and then Noor Ahmed gets another wicket, and Rashid was bowling great. You thought that you could just sense the whole build-up, and then it was down to Kale down the back end, and he couldn't get the boundaries away. But I'm always intrigued to see how a team reacts, having lost again, that they know they should have. When you lose games that you just play badly, you know, from ball one to the last, like this went up the races, they've lost to a better team. But when you lose a game where 90% of the game you dominate, that hurts.
Yep.
And I'm always intrigued to see how teams react. And it's, you know, getting to the stage where, you know, I think the three that we mentioned at the top of the table, I think Chennai, Rajasthan, Gujarat, I think they're going to go. I think they're going to be fine. It's going to be one place. So it's a big game tomorrow night for Lucknow.
All right, our predictions were not on point today, but let's predict tomorrow's players to watch out for. So one from each team. You all have to go.
How about we go with Quinton de Kock?
Yeah,
If he's not on the bench.
Yeah, I think he'll come in.
I think
He's too good.
Yeah,
too
and things are
experienced.
going change your team, change your combination. Perhaps things might change. Maybe they go with him.
I'm going to go the skipper back, Shikhar Dhawan. I'm going to go with Shikhar at the top of the order to get a few runs.
Gone with two lefties, see?
All right, we'll wait and watch. We have to now quickly give the answer for the joy factor question of the day. I thought Michael and Pommie would have got it, but I think they forgot about it. In T20I cricket, what has happened twice to Mahela Jayawardene and once to the likes of Pat Cummins, Andrew Russell, David Willey, Jimmy Neesham and Sunil Narayan?
First ball ducks? I don't know.
I think you were tagged on Twitter there.
Yeah.
Well done, Pommie. You've got it.
Have I got it?
Yes.
All right.
Well, first ball out.
I mean, it's on the right track. They've been dismissed
without
facing a ball.
Oh, okay.
That's not my guess.
We're close.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a duck without facing a ball. So.
There you go.
Are you giving him that answer?
Not giving me. I'm not taking it.
No, he's not taking it.
I'm not taking it.
He's a real winner. He wants a real. We'll see who got the answers, because a lot of people tagged me on Twitter with answers. So I'm sure we've got a whole lot of answers. Sumed has given us the answer the quickest. Well done, Sumed. I think your name is a new name. So very happy when we always have new names that come up. So keep answering, because we like new names coming up. All right, guys. I think we got carried away with our petitions today, and we went overboard. Because we need to wrap this up. You have a game to watch because United plays later in half an hour.
Actually, in fact, the winner of the joy question, his handle on Twitter was Fergie Time. So that's Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm presuming he's a Manchester United fan as well.
So I don't know if Sumed watched it, because he's probably moved to watching United's game or the
Not yet. It's not yet.
Not yet.
It's not yet.
Not yet. All right, Sumed. So I'm hoping you watched our announce you as the winner. But good luck for today's game.
Thank you very much.
You're going to have a late night. And good luck for your paddle tennis game, which happens, I think, tomorrow, day after, and your day
Saturday
off.
morning, yeah.
Thank you very much for another lovely evening. It's always so much fun to have you all here. I will see you soon.
Yes.
I'll see you soon. I'll see you over the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone, for watching. It's always fun. I'm very happy to be back on this red couch. I'll be here tomorrow. So don't forget to join us at 7 p.m. Good night and goodbye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ಚೆನ್ನೈ ತಿರುಚಿರಾಪಳ್ಳಿ
हैदराबाद को 50 एक्सप्रेस पॉलोबोटी स्टेशन नेताजी भवन कृपया ध्यान दें